Hello, eerie aficionados, and welcome to Sinister Tales, brought you by Awkward Soul. Have you ever sat with your grandparents or someone elder? They have so many myths, legends, and paranormal stories that still echo today. If you love hearing paranormal stories or curious of the other side, then let me welcome you, where your apparitions, demons, nightmares, and paranormal experience can take rest and place in this podcast to call home and be shared with other eerie aficionados. This is a quick sponsor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest ways to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's easy, it's free, and I'm using them right now to create my podcast because I'm a beginner. I have zero clue of what I'm doing, and they have guided me to create my own podcast. There's creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcasts right from your phone or computer. And I love that feature because I'm too lazy to go get my laptop, start it up. So I'm just on my phone and I can do it as comfortably as laying in my bed, in my room. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. They are heard in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. This is a quick sponsor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest ways to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's easy, it's free, and I'm using them right now to create my podcast because I'm a beginner. I have zero clue of what I'm doing, and they have guided me to create my own podcast. There's creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcasts right from your phone or computer. And I love that feature because I'm too lazy to go get my laptop, start it up. So I'm just on my phone and I can do it as comfortably as laying in my bed, in my room. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. They are heard in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimal listenership. So that's awesome as well. And for everything you need to make your podcast in one place. So please go download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Thank you. Now back to my awkward stories. Tonight on Sinister Folktales brought to you by Awkward Soul. What happens when we mix alcohol, Ouija board, tarot cards? Stay tuned and find out. My mini experience with the Ouija board. Questions about Ouija boards. Maybe someone can answer. I received a strange email about skinwalkers. What are they? And other cultures have them too? Did I witness a skinwalker? Let's dim down the lights, start a log fire. Let's grab a nice warm tea of your choice. For our first story, let's begin. This person will be known as Reno Shadows. My wife and I love the paranormal, down to aliens, mythical creatures, and spooky and odd encounters. One day, as an anniversary gift, we celebrated by buying the Ouija board and tarot cards, reading, and for future reading. And ghost communications. We take it home and do what any other young people would do to make it more fun, is to add alcohol to the mix and encourage ourselves to do it.
I read the manual instructions for the tarot, and my wife was reading how to use the Ouija board properly to get the bang out of this. I never told my wife, but I started communicating with the afterlife while she was setting up. I didn't question myself if I was doing it right because some cards were showing up sinister readings. What the other cards meant, I didn't add them up. But somehow I felt something come out of it because I was starting to sober up and paranoia started to decrease. I did a couple of readings to see if I'm getting the cards. If I am getting cards to creep myself out, but then a communication seemed to show up, the cards, chains of them. I set them down, started making sense like a greeting, hello, and some ID was showing from who they were. I don't think I did the ritual to end the card properly because the following spirit board made it eerily different. My wife sat down some candles around the board and had some salt to make a circle around them for protection barrier and brought holy water and olive oil as standby. We started the ritual and for an instant we got a response. I asked my wife if she was messing with me, moving her fingers, but she also thought I was doing it to her. Spooked us at first, but we were determined still. We waited shortly after and asked a couple of questions saying who's there and how many of them were there. We finally get an answer. In the game spelled sorry. In the reading spelled out GAME, game. We did think much until we saw the candles flickering a little. Keep in mind we had lights out after I did the tarot reading. We were kind of amazed and spooked because it seemed staged or not real. But then the mood shifted, the room is getting colder, and an order seemed to hint around. The planchette seemed to move around nowhere but started to make a swinging pattern. We didn't know what was going on at first until we noticed the candle flicking back and forth, no wind blowing anywhere, all doors shut, all windows shut. My wife had an idea of what was going on. Without hesitation, she closed the portal to her knowledge and my knowledge. A couple of days later, we found out we had paranormal things going around, down to tension in the apartment, eyes piercing at us that we couldn't see, even questioning shadows that moved. Bad dreams seemed like a daily thing, as well whispers in bed. Furniture moving. Our dogs seemed to notice things as well. The board got salted the next day, and olive oil cross was made in every entry as well as a line of salt on the Ouija board. Went back to its box and covered with black tape and a white blank label. In writing, don't open. When we finally moved, we left it behind. It followed us for a while. My wife took us to get cleansed as bad luck came after another. As for the tarot cards, I kept with me, never to use unless the future readings or fun with friends or coworkers. It still haunts us and sometimes blames it for my misfortunes afterwards. We still play the Ouija board, but that's for another story. Hope you like it. Well, I don't know about all of those events in their home. Makes me want to play with the Ouija board. I hope you made it this far. For my personal experience, it wasn't so huge. I was in 6th grade and my teacher was pretty cool, one of the best. We learned so much from her. So it was close to Halloween and the class planned a party. My teacher was going to be a fortune teller. A student brought a Ouija board. We had a game section. Well, a random kid took over the Ouija board, and the 12-year-old me wanted to know if my crush liked me. So I paid this kid with my best candy so I can get so I could use it for 3 questions. I sat down and put 4 fingers on the planchette and asked, does generic name likes me? Then I felt my arms. I felt arms around me holding my arms and helping me move the planchette. I look around, thinking friends came behind to scare me. And to my horror, I see no one.